Hi, and welcome to College Planning Untangled, where we help simplify the college planning process for families. I'm here with Bobby Hood, our SAT ACT tutoring coach, and I'm Kristin Clark. I work with students to help them figure out a career path prior to going to college, hopefully, so that they can have a streamlined college experience as far as understanding what they want to major in and what they want to do as far as internships and all that good stuff. Bobby, how are you doing today?
Just great. Excited to talk about summer stuff for our rising seniors. Right, they've had a few weeks now to kind of relax, and so now probably need to start thinking about college admissions. Right.
Yes, absolutely. And you know what? They should relax for a minute and
Absolutely.
just, have a good start of their summer. I know a lot of my clients, their families are on vacations right now, but yeah, it's kind of getting time where they need to like take advantage of the summer and get some stuff done.
hmm Yeah,
Yeah.
and there's really not. It's not like it's that much stuff to do. It's just mostly conversations to have and work to start doing a little bit. And the more you do in the summer, the less hectic the fall is going to be, because fall is going to be hectic no matter what. Right.
Absolutely. Yeah. And for anybody watching out there, definitely chime into the conversation. But one of the things that Bobby and I've done is we put together this timeline so that it is spread out throughout junior year and senior year where you can handle certain things, not feel overwhelmed. And we broke this down into three categories, which is really different from what I see on most college timelines. And the first one is that there's some things to explore and have conversations
Mhm.
about. The second piece of this is here's some smart things that you might want to consider
Mhm.
doing. And then we also have the tactical steps that you're going to find on most college timelines out there. So
Absolutely.
yeah, yeah. So the couple of explore things, Bobby, that we have. The
Mhm.
very first thing is visit your colleges, visit the college campuses, knock out a couple of those this summer at least, so that you don't have to do them all next semester while school's going, you're busy at school and all that stuff. Go ahead. Yeah, you've got
Oh,
something to say.
absolutely. Well, I mean, just as you're going, you can pick out some of the colleges that are really your favorites or whatever and go visit them, right? Make that a special trip that you do. But also, a lot of people have, trips that you go on for other reasons, right? Just family trips. Just look for a college that's nearby and just go visit it, even if it's one that you don't know anything about or not interested in, because that's how you learn what it is you want from a college. Because you look and you say, okay, well, I like this, but I don't like these things, right? And so you just got to go visit, right? And
Yeah,
so
because
that's
there's
something,
a vibe. We always talk about this, Bobby.
right?
There's a vibe on a college campus. And
Mhm.
I know when you haven't done this, you're like, whatever.
Right.
It's like, ah. But once you get on campus, you do feel the vibe. And if it feels like it fits.
Absolutely. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's the thing is, yeah, go out there and take a look. And then also the other thing that you want to do the summer, before your senior year is start talking about like career paths that you might want to go on, right? Because, I know you've said it so many times, Christian, that, people get it backwards, right? They think you're supposed to pick a college, then pick your major when you get there, and then pick your career after that. But if you don't know what you might be wanting to do for a living, right? It's really hard to pick a college or a major, right?
Yeah. And let's talk about why it's important. Because tend to get a little bit of pushback on this, Bobby, where people are like, oh my gosh, I can't figure out a career path at 16, 17, 18.
Mhm.
And what we're really saying is let's start the conversation about those things that are going to
Right.
light you up and get you excited.
Yeah.
The benefit is when you understand that, you'll know like 1 to 3 different majors that make sense for
hmm
you to get involved in. And then you'll get to explore all the different classes and kind of touch on things around that idea. You'll do the internships that support kind of what you think you might want to do. So by the time you get out of college, you have a very good idea of what is your next best step as far as a job to go after. So it just
Absolutely.
cleans up this whole process.
Yeah. So these are just conversations to start having this summer, right? And that
Mhm.
actually leads into some of these other things, right? That we're going to do, right?
Yeah. So what
So,
are the smart things? So we're
yeah.
in the
So,
smart category.
right. So, well, one of them is just along with the college visits is to find people who are a year older than you or 2 years older than you who are home from the summer from college, and just go talk to them and just say, hey, what's college like? Tell me what college is like, right? you're going to get very different answers from people you actually know, right? Than just reading reviews on websites or things like that, right?
You are, but let's talk again. I'm all, you know me, I'm all about the action. It's like, what are you going to get from doing that?
Yeah.
And here's the big thing. You're going to have some people that hated college.
Mhm.
Understand that they had a
Yeah.
bad experience, but listen to what they're saying and why they had a bad experience.
Right. Absolutely.
Then you're going to hit the people that absolutely are in love with
Mhm.
college. They think it's the best thing since sliced bread. But again, listen. I want you to listen to what you're hearing and why. And, you know, going off to college is a huge change.
Mhm.
And, you know, for parents out there, help your kids through this. It's a big change. How do we make it less of a big change? And if they can hear from the horse's mouth some of the
Mhm.
things that they're going to experience, I think it makes it more like, okay, I knew this was coming.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and you'll probably find that those students who had a better experience, right? They might just talk about all the fun they're having, right? But they might be having fun because they're in classes that they enjoy, that they have professors that they're able to talk to, that they're engaged and not sitting in their room all the time and they're out doing stuff, right? Because if you're miserable with the classes you're taking and it's taking you all of your time to do homework and stuff, right? Then that would be a different experience. And so that's, we know that getting engaged and talking to your professors and being involved in activities and organizations is a big part of actually enjoying college.
Yes. So be listening for those things. And I think the intention and where I was going with that too is your intention is I want to have a good time and I want it to have a meaningful experience. So listen to those different experiences so that you can go, how am I going to do it right?
Absolutely right. Which things will I do? Which things will I avoid? Right. Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
So another smart thing that you want to consider is taking college level classes at your local community college. I haven't looked at the timelines on this, Bobby. I don't know if we're too late, but I do think that there's a second half of summer that they can get
Yeah.
involved in. But here's the benefit of that, guys. You can take this college level course, you can get a few credits under your belt. So let's say in college you screw up and you have a class that you don't do so well in,
Yeah.
it gives you a little bit of wiggle room to get all your credits in, and it gives you that experience of just how hard is this going to be, and
Absolutely.
can I handle the classes? 9 times out of 10, I think you're going to go, oh yeah, I can handle this. It's
Right.
different than high school, but I can handle it. And it goes back to that college is going to be it's change, it's all the things. If you can feel confident that you can take these courses and do well at them, I think that's meaningful too. It just gives you more confidence walking in.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And I did that myself. The summer before I started college, I took a history course at local community college just to get one of those credits out of the way. And it's just one less thing I had to take while I was in school and made the course load a little easier. Right. But also, it's a lot of times students take 5 years to graduate nowadays. And so every credit you can get in through AP courses, AP tests, and taking classes at community colleges that can transfer in. Totally easy to do. You can usually do it for core credits.
Yes, absolutely. And I had another thought, and I thought I'd be able to pick it up, but I lost it. So we'll go on to the next thing. Now
Yeah.
we've got one tactical thing
Mhm.
that we suggest doing over the summer. Now, this is a big one.
Yeah.
Well, even though we just have one, we kind of did this on purpose. We told you we simplify this. This is writing your college application essays.
Right.
And you do want to
Absolutely.
take the time to do this right.
Absolutely. Right. And so that's something you can work on in the summer for sure. I think in August is when the actual Common App opens and you can start actually putting the essay into it. Right. But they announced what the essays are in the Common App earlier this year. The colleges already tell you what their essays are going to be for this fall, which of the Common App essays. So you can start. And a lot of times the hardest part is starting, right? And so the first step is figure out, for the main colleges you're going to apply to, what the essays are that you need to write, right? And just do the main one and just write something, no matter how bad it is. Just get something out on paper. Once that's written, then you can revise and you can figure out, okay, this part is the part that shows me, who they are. And students can always work with me on college essays, right? You should work with someone other than just your parents someone who is an expert in college essays. You should have somebody look at it other than your parents. A lot of times your parents can really kind of inhibit you from actually writing things that are true about yourself, right? Your
Well,
parents don't even
yeah,
really need to be involved, you
yeah,
know?
and let's talk about that, Bobby. And hey, listen, I'm a parent. I've got 2 kids. Guess what?
Yeah,
You're an idiot when they turn 16 and all the way
right.
through until they're about 21, 22.
Exactly. They don't want your advice anyway.
They
Right.
don't, but here's the other thing. You know, you said they may inhibit you because if you know that your parents are going to read this, I think sometimes it keeps you from truly writing a good essay because you're
Yeah.
watering it down.
Yeah.
So for you to be authentic, I think you write the essay, get to somebody besides your parents,
Yeah.
you know, whoever that you trust and feel good about reaching out to. And Bobby, of course, has done this in his past and still
Yeah.
does it. So get to somebody that you trust to be.
Absolutely. Yeah. You could go to your English teacher and just say, look, okay, you know me. Does this essay tell you something about my personality and who I am? You know, that's the question, because that's what they want to see. They want to know things about who you are and what makes you unique as an individual.
Yeah.
Right?
And
That's the
Bobby,
important thing.
can you also give us, and I'll throw a few in too, but
Mhm.
the topics that you know they don't want to hear about?
Oh,
And
yeah. I mean, see, that's the main thing is like the first thing that'll occur to you probably is, the most common essay topic is just, describe something that really moved you or changed you or affected your life or something like that. Right. And so there are these stories that everyone goes to, right? And you want to avoid them. Things like, I was on the team and we had to win the big game, right? Or I got injured and then I had to rehabilitate and get back into shape. Or I went to summer camp and it changed my life. Or I went to a foreign country and I learned that people are all the same all over the world, right? Because the person who's going to read your essay, they probably didn't get to go to a foreign country last year, right? And you think about how many essays they've read about somebody getting injured in the sport or winning the big game and how bored they're going to be, right? And instead, just write something simple about yourself and what you're like as a person, and that isn't one of those just very common.
or something that might be a little bit unique.
Absolutely.
You
Right.
know,
That's the goal.
yeah, I had a student client that he did beekeeping for his
Mhm.
Eagle Scout thing.
That's perfect. Yeah. I mean, one of the famous, essays in essay writing books is just like, the student who wrote about how they got excited about learning to make sandwiches and talked about all the different sandwiches they make and then related that to things they learned about life, right? It doesn't matter. It's something you're excited about that shows something about you as a person. It doesn't have to be an important thing. It's not to show off. It's to just let them know what kind of person you are. That's it.
Yeah, and I know people make this one too. They make it hard,
Mhm.
and that again, that might be another idea, Bobby. Get together with a couple of your buddies and just
Mhm.
do a really quick brainstorming something, and
Yeah.
or with anybody. It doesn't have to be buddies, but that might be kind of fun. And just say, okay, what's the most normal thing about me that I can twist and make unique? You know?
Yeah. Well, and I mean, it is one of the tricks to essay writing is if you sit down with a good friend of yours who knows you well and just explain to them in your own words the way you would normally talk to them why you want to go to this college and what it is about you that would make you interesting at that college, whatever you would say to your friend is what you ought to write in your essay, right? Because you're not going to tell them something boring about winning the big game, right? You're going to actually tell them an interesting story because they're your friend, right?
Or they may say something to you that they're like,
Right.
you know what I always noticed about you? Da 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 da
Absolutely.
da da. And you're
Ask
like,
them. Ask your
really?
friends what is interesting about me. Yeah, absolutely. I
Yeah,
think
get
those are all
creative.
great ideas. And
Yeah.
that's the point is just over the summer, get started on it because otherwise it's going to be September and you're going to be getting in fights in the house about how you haven't written your essays yet. Nobody enjoys that. Right.
Nobody enjoys that, Bobby, and just the pressure
It's
of
so
now they've got the
stressful.
looming deadline. It's like, get ahead of it, you're gonna feel so much better.
Oh,
Plus,
especially, yeah, because there's so many, like, so students are applying to so many colleges nowadays that it ends up being a lot of essays because you have to write all these short answer essays too. So it's a lot of work. So you got to get that main one done. And once you've gotten one out, then it's easy to generate more.
it
Right.
is, and I gotta tell you, listen for our senior year fall
Mhm.
list of things you need to do,
Oh,
and
yeah.
yeah, and that's where kind of the rubber meets the road and it gets a little
Right.
bit intense, so get this done first.
Exactly. There's so much other stuff to deal with in the fall. It gets very complicated. And so, yeah, absolutely. Knock those essays out. Get those first drafts done as soon as you can.
Cool. All right.
All right. This is great.